it's Maureen Muldoon, and we are on lesson 132 with the Course in Miracles. I loose the world from all I thought it was. The last couple of lessons that we've been doing, it's like, the Holy Spirit's trying to get us to really shake the value we've given this world. And again, not to be morbid about it, but just to wear it loosely. We want to be in the world, but not of the world, which is a big shift, because there's so many ways that the world wants us to get distracted. It's a very distracting world. There is a prayer that I used to do all the time from the Bible called the Prayer of Jabez. I'll put it in the links below. And it says, Lord, that you will bless me indeed, expand my territory, that your hand will be with me, that you'll keep me from fear, that I will not cause pain. I use this prayer for forgiveness work. When I'm working with somebody who drives me crazy, I'll say the prayer 3 times for me and 3 times for the other person. But what I came to realize just the other day, it takes me a while to figure things out, was that I was saying, God, that you'll bless me indeed. And I realized that I don't need to be blessed anymore, man. I am so freaking blessed. We are all so freaking blessed. And the Course in Miracles tells us that. It says we've been given 1,000 reasons to gladden ourselves, and we refuse them all. So today my prayer is not, Lord, that you'll bless me indeed, but God, that I will bless you indeed. I hope to be a blessing to God. And if you are interested in making that shift with me and deciding that you don't need any more blessings, that you just want to be a blessing to the world, I when I tried that prayer on, it just felt like, it just felt very peaceful, and peace is the goal. So I think it will help with this lesson. I loose the world from all I thought it was. What keeps the world in chains but your beliefs? And what can save the world except yourself, capital S? Belief is powerful indeed. The thoughts you hold are mighty, and illusions are as strong in their effect as in the truth. A madman thinks the world he sees is real and does not doubt it, nor can he be swayed by questioning his thoughts' effects. It is but when their source is raised to question that the hope of freedom comes to him at last. So that's a great little first paragraph, and it's basically saying, if everything is love or fear, then we get to go and ask, is this authored by love or is this authored by fear? As soon as we question the source of our thinking, we'll have a better chance at being able to discern loving thoughts from fearful thoughts. Yet is salvation easily achieved, for anyone is free to change his mind, and all his thoughts change with it. Now the source of thought has shifted, for to change your mind means you have changed the source of all ideas you think, or ever thought, or yet will think. You free the past from what you thought before. You free the future from all ancient thoughts of seeking what you do not want to find. So we're working with our thoughts, man. And our thoughts are the first cause. And we get to decide, are these thoughts of love or fear? The present now remains the only time. Here in the present is the world set free. For as you let the fear be lifted and release the future from your ancient fears, you find escape and give it to the world. You have enslaved the world with all your fears, your doubts and miseries, your pain and tears and all your sorrows pressed on it, and kept the world a prisoner to your beliefs. Death strikes it everywhere because you hold the bitter thought of death within your mind. The world is nothing in itself. Your mind must give it meaning, and what you behold upon it are your wishes, acted out so you can look on them and think them real. Perhaps you think you did not make the world, but came unwillingly to what was made already, hardly waiting for your thoughts to give it meaning. Yet in truth you found exactly what you were looking for when you came. So it's saying, it's giving us back the responsibility for the world we see. We usually say, I'll believe it when I see it. But no, we actually see it because we have believed in it. And if we see it because we believed in it, we can change our thoughts. We can change our beliefs so we can see a world that's more in accordance with love if we desire. It says number 5, there's no world apart from what you wish, and herein lies your ultimate release. Change but your mind on what you want to see, and all the world must change accordingly. Ideas leave not their source. This is the source. The projector is the source. So if we begin to change our projector and decide to see a world of love, it's going to outpicture. But again, love means giving up special love so that we can be in true love with all things. This central theme is often stated in the text and must be borne in mind if you would understand the lesson for today. It is not pride which tells you that you made the world you see and that it changes as you change your mind. So it's not pride that says, like, change your thinking, change your world, but it's empowerment. Like, you would want your kids, if you put your kids in a car and you didn't tell them how to drive it, you wouldn't be a very good parent. But here's like, we're in this car, this body, let's call this automobile that we're driving in, this physical meat suit, as my friend Joe Wolf would say. And now Jesus is telling us how to drive it. Like, you can drive this on a happy, smooth path if you decide to think the thoughts of love. If you decide to think the thoughts of fear and separation, it's going to be a bumpy ride, so buckle up. So number 6, it goes on to say, but it is pride that argues you have come into a world quite separate from yourself, impervious to what you think and quite apart from what you chance to think it is. There is no world. This is a big exclamation mark. That's a big powerful sentence of 4 little words. There is no world. What the hell does that mean, there's no world? It sure seems like there's a world. There's a you and there's a me. There's some sort of a computer. There's these lessons. There's this book. What do you mean there's no world? This is just a dream, remember? You and I are just having a sweet dream. And so it's beneficial to know that. It allows us to wear the world lightly. So remember, the lesson today, reflects that thought. I loose the world from all I thought it was. How do I loose it? I loose it by remembering it's not real. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And you might think, well, how am I supposed to navigate the world like that? Like, people think it's real. And I have many, many reasons to be invested in making this world real. It's okay. It's okay. As you're in the world, use the symbols of the world. But, just remember that it's all not that important. Like, at best, it's this odd scientific experiment. How about that? Just to make it a little more impersonal, What we want to get to is the idea that beneath this dream of separation is a world of unity where you and I are one. And it would be optimal if we could experience and walk the world with that wondrous mindset. And not only are we heir to that, but we're capable of it. If one brother can get there, then all brothers are capable. And Jesus showed us the potential for this. So, there is no world. This is a central thought the Course attempts to teach. Not everyone is ready to accept it, and each one must go as far as he can, let himself be led along the road to truth. He will return and go still further, or perhaps stop a while and then return again. So look, I've been doing these lessons for forever. I'm just getting to the idea of partial acceptance, sporadic acceptance of these ideas. I will say that when I'm in the acceptance of these ideas, it feels peaceful. And that's the goal. Number 7, but healing is the gift of those who are prepared to learn there is no world and can accept the lesson now. Their readiness will bring the lesson to them in some form which they can understand and recognize. Some see it suddenly on points of death and rise to teach it. Others find it in experience that is not of this world, which shows them that the world does not exist because what they behold must be the truth, and yet it clearly contradicts the world. So if you've ever had an experience Some people have had enlightened experiences. My friend Joe Wolf had them in prison, where he, recognized a holy connection with all things. Each of us have had moments of that, even if you don't want to admit to it, or you don't think it, oh, it couldn't have been that. Every time we laugh, we have an enlightened experience. Every time somebody tells us a joke and we have a good belly laugh, that's an enlightened experience. But this is talking about not just having sprinkles on the cupcake, but really recognizing that you are an enlightened being. You are a being of light. This world is a place of shadows that block the light. And so it's interesting to navigate this, illusion as a light being. But, this is what the Course is telling us, and we can accept it to the degree that we feel comfortable. How about that? Number 8, and some will find it in this Course and in the exercises that we do today. Today's idea is true because the world does not exist, and if it is indeed your own imagining, then you can loose it from all the things you ever thought it was by merely changing all the thoughts that gave it these appearances. The sick are healed as you let go all thoughts of sickness, and the dead rise when you let thoughts of life replace all thoughts you ever held of death. A lesson earlier repeated once must now be stressed again, for it contains the firm foundation for today's idea. You are as God created you. There is no place where you can suffer, and no time that cannot bring change to your eternal state. How can a world of time and place exist if you remain as God created you? What is the lesson for today except another way of saying that to know yourself is the salvation of the world? To free the world from every kind of pain is but to change your mind about yourself. There is no world apart from your ideas, because ideas leave not their source, and you maintain the world within your mind in thought. Powerful, right? But if you are as God created you, you cannot think apart from Him, nor make what does not share His timelessness and love. Are these inherent in the world you see? Does it create like Him? Unless it does, it's not real and cannot be at all. If you are real, the world you see is false, for God's creation is unlike the world in every way. See, the world is not a horrible place. It's just like, where things, come to die, basically. And so, it's certainly not the optimal place for us spiritual beings to be hanging out. But we're here. We're going to enjoy it while we're here. We're going to be helpful while we're here. And we're not going to take it too seriously. It goes on to say, and as it was His thoughts by which you were created, so it is your thoughts which made it and must set it free, that you may know the thoughts you share with God. So God didn't make this world. We did. The sonship made this world when it decided to experience the knowledge of good and evil. And so here in the world, we get to see that dichotomy. And but even in this seemingly fractured state, we can say, all right, interesting. I was curious about good and evil, and now I think I would very much like to return to only good. and then we can return to only God. And then we can allow ourselves to see God in all things. And then we can have our awakening and our enlightenment, and we can have a united experience of love with all things. And if you do this, you do it for everyone. So it's not like some special hat trick. It's actually reclaiming your true inheritance. Number 12, release the world, exclamation mark. Your true creations wait for this release to give you fatherhood, not of illusions, but as God in truth. God shares His fatherhood with you who are His sons, for He makes no distinctions in what is Himself and what is still Himself. What He created is not apart from Him, and nowhere does the Father end and the Son begin as something separate from Him. So you are an extension of light from the source of God, and you have inheritance to all that God is, like a teeny drop of the ocean that carries within it all aspects of the ocean. This is true for you. And it's nice to know that, to be reminded of our source and our potential. There is no world because it is a thought apart from God and made to separate the Father and the Son and break away a part of God Himself and thus destroy His holiness. Can a world which comes from this idea be real? No. You can't be separate from God. And to even attempt to think that you're separate from God leaves you in a state of unconsciousness, leaves you in a state of sleep. That's the only way that you can, that's the best way that you can separate yourself from God, is just to go completely unconscious and by being asleep and basically being in fear all of the time. Can it be anywhere? Deny illusion, but accept the truth. Deny you are a shadow briefly laid upon a dying world. Release your mind and you will look upon a world released. This is a great lesson. Today our purpose is to free the world from all the idle thoughts we ever held about it and about all living things we see upon it. They cannot be there, no more can we, for we are in the home our Father set for us, along with them. And we who are as He created us would loose the world this day from every one of our illusions, that we may be set free. Begin the 15-minute period in which we practice twice today with this: I, who remain as God created me, would loose the world from all that I thought it was, for I am real because the world is not, and I would know my own reality. It's a beautiful declaration. Then merely rest alert, but with no strain, and let your mind in quietness be changed so that the world is freed along with you. Sweet Jesus, this is a good lesson. 16. You need not realize that healing comes to many brothers far across the world, as well as to the ones you see nearby, as you send out these thoughts to bless the world. You will sense your own release, although you may not fully understand as yet that you could never be released alone. Say this often, like, as I practice for you, you practice for me. As we practice for everyone. 17. Throughout the day, increase the freedom sent through your idea to all the world, and say whenever you're tempted to deny the power of your simple change of mind, I loose the world from all I thought it was and choose my own reality instead. And remember, reality, what is real, is synonymous with love. And so we're choosing to leave fears and separation behind and move into our holy empowerment with love. You are love. You are here to be loved. You are here to love. And this is how we become free. Thanks for practicing with me, you guys. It's a great lesson. It's a great lesson. Basically, it's saying, don't get hung up and strung out on the world. And one way we can do that is through gratitude. You know, remember in the beginning when I was saying, like, you've been so blessed and I've been so blessed. Count your blessings, no matter what. No matter if you think you got nothing and everybody's left you and you're broken, you have something to be grateful for. So move into the grateful and gracious state that you are heir to, and that will help to lift you into the awareness that you are only love. God bless. I love you.